And YouTube will do it. Mm-hmm. Hi, YouTube chat. I feel like a lot of people are like, I ran into a wall and other people don't. And the only difference is the second person goes and runs 100 more maps while the first person talks about how they're stuck. Yep. You stream all the systems, not just keep adding more. Hard disagree with you. Hard disagree with you. So hard disagree with you, it's not even funny. I can't even disagree with you more. And the reason I hard disagree with you is for this simple reason. When you have, like, let's say we slim down all the systems, right? So if we go, we look at all the different systems we have right now, right? So we have Cube. We've got Dark Surge. Actually, let's get Claude to give me the list of the whole things. Oh, that's why Discord's making noise. I had fucking real Discord open. Where's the seasons? All right, so we have Dark Surge. We've got Black Sail. We've got Cube. We've got City of A. We've got Dream. We've got Mist. We've got Clockwork. We've got Canvas. We have Arcana. We have Sandlord. We have Outlaw. We have Overrealm. We have Vorax. We have Lunaria. And then we have whatever the next season's going to be, right? So these are all the different things. And then on top of that, we also have things like POB, or Path of the Brave. We've got Hunt, Might, Machines. We've got the Creation Engine. We have Traveler. We have Bossing in general. Right? So we have all of these things, right? And these are all going to give you like power. I'm missing something, right? And so the thing is that I don't need to go and farm Dark Surge, because there's somebody else out there that's farming Dark Surge. And this is, it's all an economy, right? So if you were playing D4, right? So the way D4 does this is there's no real economy and you have to go do fucking everything, right? And this is why there's too many mechanics, because you literally have to go do all of them, right? It's kind of the same thing in PoE. PoE, if you're not doing solo self-found, you don't need to go do all the mechanics. But the thing with PoE is that, like, many of the mechanics give you the same thing, just give you different ways. Yeah, and so basically you're doing like the mapping mechanic, and you get to choose the spice that you want to put on it, right? Like, hey, this season I really like putting Arcana, Vorax, and Sandlord all in my map. Or you could possibly go and do like kind of like a Mistville, City of Eterna, Canvas kind of spice to it as well, and do like a shovels kind of farm. We've done like Outlaw Overrealm before. Yeah, and so because like, so Patrons has never stepped foot in Canvas, Mistville, or Eterna, never touched Sandlord, and it's never inhibited him. And so what that does is it gives you niches in the economy where people can go and do the things that they like, and it gives them value, because there's too much to do. There's too many farms to do, and that is a good thing, because that allows the people that are doing those farms to actually make money from doing them. And so the fact that like the new season's going to roll up and it's going to add Lunaria as a farm mechanic that you can choose as opposed to being shoved down your throat in every map is not a bad thing. It's just a, hey, how does this change the landscape of everything that works together? Like, what is the value of the stuff that is inside of here? Like, for the hero memory update stuff, I'm sure it'll still be very, very, very potent and powerful. And so people will want to farm for this kind of stuff. It'll just probably get less of an FE, shooter router, whereas the new season will probably give tons of FE, right? It'll probably be a lot more pain in the ass, and every single season is just like this, and just add more and more and more and more things. And one of the things that was kind of nice about Lunaria is that Lunaria and Black Sail kind of like work together to like work on the same piece of gear. Dark Surge works with like a lot of the same gear as well. What else here? Clockwork also kind of has like this like corrosion of normal gear. I think that this needs to be improved. Outlaw also kind of has like its like sequences, which kind of go on the basic stuff. Overrealm is kind of its own separate thing, but like we're kind of like only working in the same slots. I would feel like we had too many things if like there was double the number of character slots. Like every season they were adding one new seasonal power slot that you had to farm up. That would suck. Well, if it was like, oh, this season with Lunaria, you get a special moon memory, and the moon memory slot needs to be filled with a special moon memory that you craft onto it. And if you don't have a moon memory, nothing could go in that slot. That would be very bad. But instead, it just takes the things that you're already using it, and it's just elevating it to the next level. And I think that is a very, very good way to do it. You can feel overwhelming for new players. But as we can see here from our checklist, that it's actually scaling up, right? So in like the campaign, you really only need to worry about treasure trove. And then time mark 1 through 6, there's really only 3 things you kind of need to worry about. Like crafting up your gear, auras, maybe some legendaries if you find them. Time mark 5 here, we're getting memories of progress specifically. And then time mark 7, there's more things to worry about, but like it's not like a ton of things. And I think that this here, this is kind of the tutorial for the beginning of the game, right? So the problem is that a lot of people finish the campaign and they think that they're in the end game then. And there's this misunderstanding, right? I think for, I don't want to delete all that. I think for a lot of people, we have the campaign through Traveler 7. This is the campaign. Right? This is like for a good player, this is like 4 hours. I think Oasis needs buffs, maybe a little bit. I think it kind of got nerfed now a little bit this season, but like 4 to maybe like 8 hours here for a new player. But this can take days for a new player to get to this point, right? And that's fine. This is kind of the like the start of the game. And then I think that early game is kind of time mark 8. Time mark 8 is where you start getting more scaling vectors than what you had before. So like you start having to actually worry about slates instead of just fucking bullshit go. The belt blends from other mechanics start to come in. Like some of these special supports are something you could buy. There's some of the cheap automations. And so you're starting to like see more mechs. And then once you get into profound, this is where everything matters. And I would say that this is the mid game. Basically everything in profound, like the bottom of profound and the tippity top of profound, are like basically the entirety of the mid game. There's some tier to profound and profound to mid game. Really depends on the build, depends on the character, depends on a lot of stuff, depends on the time of the season. Like some people have like recently done like zero to hero, free to play account, Rosa 2, all the way to SS20 in like less than 70 hours or something. Let me go look at what my actual stream titles here were. Okay, so like for me here, my first 28 hours, we ended at 10 billion. Right? We started the day here at 10 billion, and then towards the end here at 60 billion. So this was like just barely into profound, right? And then we started the day after that. So like day 3 of the season at 120, we ended at 1.4 trillion. But a big part of this was just going and getting ourselves a priceless gear at this point, right? And then 1.4 trillion. We did the whole day, a whole 11-hour stream. We went up to 2 trillion. Because we can see the next day is 2 trillion, right? And then 3 trillion. And then we went and played Diablo 4. We did solo self-found. And then we just like stopped caring about like what our actual DPS was there at this point. So yeah, it just kind of varies. I lost followers yesterday. I lost 3 followers while playing TLI. That's interesting. These crazy fast 0 to hero runs are always like a month into the season where gear is dirt cheap. Yeah, that's another thing. So like PoE, I kind of feel like if you start the league late, it's like really difficult to kind of get to. Like the thing is that there's no goals, right? Like what's the point of farming, I don't know, Uber Elder if like the farm for Uber Elder is kind of already over? Like for me, PoE is like, for most people, get a Mage Blood, right? Get a Mega Blood and then farm, right? And so that's like it. The whole like goal of the game is so bad. Whereas in TLI, you have like very solid goals of killing Supreme Showdown 20, right? And getting your free pack spirit free. And so that allows you to actually have things that you want to do if you're coming in and playing late. Mirror plus gear is so unobtainable for 99% people without RMT. Yeah. 36 challenge. Yeah. But a lot of that stuff tends to just be boring shit, right? Most of the times when I like have done 36 out of 40, there's a lot of stuff here. Wait, what the fuck? I just try to log into my PoE account and get all fucked up. 1 second here. Let's see here. Yeah, so like Galliant grinding goals, like reach 100, use the divine font in Endgame 50 times, stuff like this, right? Because you need to do like most of these bottom ones. Complete any of the 4 following nightmare maps where they have at least 175% quantity. Like, defeat witness boss or activate Eldritch Altars while in maps that are affected by Atlas Astrolabe the specified number of times. Yeah, most of them are just play the game a lot. It doesn't really matter. And most of the time when I do these, it's like, oh, I'm just throwing money away to do this dumb thing. Yeah, you need to have goals, right? But yeah, so I think this is why I say like profound is kind of like the mid game, and it's also kind of the end game as well. Because there are strategies here that you can like do in there, but also we have deep space versus Supreme Showdown, and this is the like the pinnacle. Use this expensive crafting item a number of times, and that challenge alone is the only reason why that expensive crafting item is super expensive. Get Headhunter Mageblade, then quit within 3 to 4 days. Journey is fun, but there's nothing aside from switching builds. Yeah. I would group Soul Self in the same category or Supreme Showdown as Profound, honestly. Yeah, I would say like SS20 is probably the pinnacle here. You can get up to like 18 or 19 here. But yeah, so there's different stages to the game. And I think the biggest problem that people do is they'll be like still in the campaign trying to buy an end game piece of gear. Or they're in like time market. Wow, I didn't know I could do diagonal. Do diagonal? What the fuck? You can do like time mark 8 and try to like skip ahead a little bit. But yeah, it tends to be disastrous. And the number of people we've seen that this season who are like, I sold all my gear of the other build, and then I bought all this other stuff, and my everything's a mess. Help me. Crafting in PoE is the best crafting in ARPGs depth wise. Just a fucking agree. I don't think hitting a random number generator is very deep. Especially if you're a melee player. Melee weapon crafting is a great example of how dog shit PoE's crafting is, and they've never made an improvement to it a single fucking time. Let me show you an example. Oh, they have Ghazi in here again? Damn. I thought you got a ton of shit for this. So, if I want to hit tier 1 physical damage on an exalted orb, yeah. Just this part. 656 tries. If I want to hit tier 2, still 200 tries. So, yeah. The problem is that if I want to hit tier 1 lightning versus tier 1 fizz. Oh, the weight actually did get changed finally. So the weight on lightning is a lot lower, but if we look at the overall weighting of lightning in general, 16,000 versus physical. So physical by itself has less than half of the weighting of each of the 3 elements, right? And the 3 elements are always bad. And so if you took out all of the fire, cold, and lightning, still, it would be kind of difficult to craft something good. I think GG never planned out what they wanted crafting look like. They made the original close your eyes and slam crafting, and they just added systems with no plan of how they're all going to work together. Yeah. So we're saying you don't need full tier 1 to complete the content. So that is kind of true unless you're playing melee. Because here's the thing, Darth Richter. For me, for example, when I was playing melee swords, if I had this weapon, right? Tier 1 fizz, tier 1 fizz, tier 1 fizz, tier 1 attack speed, tier 1 critical strike chance. Like this god weapon, right? Still worse than a Paradoxica. Still worse than a Paradoxica. So, and you can put like global crit on here as well, crit multi. So I think that that's trash. I think that there's a lot of mods on here that are just not very interesting, not very fun. They don't do anything, and they've never really added anything that's super duper cool or interesting. Most of these like Redeemer and Warlord and all these other mods just make the weapon worse. And the only cool thing they kind of had for melee for a long time, not a long time, for like one patch, was the stat stick thing, and they were like, craft for profit is actually a thing. Unlike in TLI, you can craft for profit in TLI. But also, the reason why profit crafting is a thing is because most people don't want to interact with the systems, but you are forced to profit craft if you actually want to get your own gear in the end game. Right? Because pretty much how this works is that like on the odds sheet here, if we have a whole bunch of crafts down here, like complete bricks, and this is like the like mirror tier item. Well, you have like different like gradients to this, right? That you're like might be willing to accept. So like this here still probably like be like 1C. That's not even a C. And then like maybe here you have like a 50C thing that you're crafting, and then you have like 1 divine, and then like you're getting into like the higher it up you gets, the better it gets. But if you want to craft something that's near the pinnacle, you basically are going to be taking and making a lot of failures along the way, and you need to be able to sell them. And so this means too that if your build isn't very popular and there's not other people like coming behind you or playing the same build, all of this kind of gets destroyed, and you can't even like sell your mirror tier item at like for mirrors. You pretty much just have to eat the cost on your own. And this is why profit crafting exists, because people are trying to aim for the tippity top, but then there any of the things that are like, well, this is bad, possibly fixable, we can sell this like here or above. Anything that's like obviously kind of bad but still good enough to be like usable for a short period of time, we can still sell to people. Anything that's like mostly a brick anyways, maybe like someone can like magic their way back into this being good again, will like sell for scraps. And like this is basically the whole system. And so in order for you to like get very lucky mathematically, you need to basically do the profit crafting stuff. In TLI, you craft the item to get the mods you want. The same thing happens with mirror, right? It's just that like the part up here is that you have to have the right base and you have to have the corrosion. we talk about it, I think it's basically the difference between playing trade versus solo self on how crafting is in each of those modes. Yeah, I don't really like solo self on all that much. Yeah, like typically a mirror craft, like let's say like if I wanted to go and buy, I don't think that there's gonna be like a mirror wand in the auction house here. So let's say I wanted to go buy this, right? This to make would cost me way more than a mirror in 9,000 FE, right? Because it has corruption here, it has the sequence, it has probably the dream that I want, and then it has the double base, which I probably can't buy. That listed with just 9k. No, this is a mirror item. So if you go to buy it, you need to have a twin reflection and it makes a copy for you. Yeah, same thing here. This guy's got double explode. Ain't nobody mirroring this shit, right? Ain't no way. Yeah, so like all of these here are things that are like corroded or are insane. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 blessings, and then another 2 blessings here. No mirrors that make non-perfect items essentially worthless. Yeah. I mean, even like some of these are kind of duplicates, right? Like this versus that. D4 is a better system now. Corrode your own gear, but the gear is easy to get and craft. Tell that to the barbarians trying to get gem strength all season. Tell that to the I mean, so I agree with that, except for I don't think that D4's endgame craft should it be like corrode, hit a corrosion mod on the thing, and then go and change your masterworking to hit the corrosion. I don't think that should be a thing. Happens to the seller's item that is mirrored, it just stays up in the shop. They just get the money. I hated Vorax crafting. Vorax crafting was not very good. Way too like costy for everything. Wait, what did I get hit here? Why am I still getting pings on this fucking server? Leaving server, I guess. Yeah, the Suture price pretty crazy. The Suture price is just kind of wild because it's like 300 FE, and then over here it's 18. $130, $110. It's like these shouldn't be so expensive. I get that it's like a priceless level of gear, but still, it's pretty crazy. Really need good reason for Vorax. Where the Vortex corrosion mat's at. Oh yeah, this is probably the most egregious thing, right? So the mutagenic slurry is at 15,000. It's just like they pretty much turned Vortex crafting from like cool combined to legendaries to like it's just LP but better, or LP but like kind of worse. Yeah, for this price, it better like give you all 6 corroded, right? Those are 3 FE last season. Mm-hmm. Very bad. Upside, inside out. Mm-mm. I think adjust the suture drop rates and I'm happy. I think adjust all the materials. I personally think that the materials should be like twice or maybe even 3 times more available, and the FE drop should be reduced. Also, it's just not like, I think the whole suture thing probably just needs to go. I think sutures in general were kind of a mistake because it's not really clear easily which legendaries which require which sutures. We need to like look at the fucking need to like go and look at the thing here and then go and find the organ that you don't have and be like, oh, it's exquisite. Like the only way I can tell that is if I go here and like go and find the thing here. It's a little bit kind of just complex. And I'm noticing that some of these cost 5 sutures. Like, why did that cost 5 sutures? What? Why is Mind Infusion 5? I didn't know some of them could be multiple sutures. What the fuck? I'd be so fucking pissed if I went to make something that was Blade Dancer Steps. Okay, that makes some sense. But like, if I was gonna go make something and I knew it was purple suture and I got to this screen and it was like 5, I'd be fucking mad, dude. You guys know what I'm looking for. Yeah, Eternity's not even 5 sutures. Omni Elixir. I've never heard of Tokyo Ghoul. What's that? How do you think they're gonna nerf Sage? Elixir effect or just all elixir flat amounts? Do they need to nerf Sage? The animated manga? I mean, that sounds like the type of anime that's really good in the beginning, and then season 2 just kind of falls off when the main character just goes on a fucking vacation and we don't get to see him the entire time for some whatever fucking reason. You just follow a whole bunch of people that you don't really care about, meanwhile wondering what the fuck happened to the main character of season 1. I don't know. It sounds like that. Potentially lower the injury buffer cap. You take that back. Can we bring back blurry steps? I think that swiftness elixir needs to have a higher bottom end, and they can keep the same top end of it. Right? So this being like 32%, it still feels so slow. I don't think Sage is really like all that problematic. I don't think so. I think if they nerf chromatic, it's gonna feel pretty impactful for her. I think the problem most people like, it's kind of hard to disentangle Sage and chromatic shot, but yeah, chromatic shot was definitely problematic this season. Jenna scales with Dex and Strength projectiles and area. I wonder if they're hitting Gale next season. What is Prairie's full name? When sparks set the prairie ablaze. Bro, leave Gale alone. Gale's OP, man. What other main talent gives you over 100% more damage? True Flame. Take True Flame, I'll back it. Also in the Vestin to get the scaling, it doesn't just happen. But it turns I think you just take Gale and either you cap it at like 300% or something, or 200%, and it's, you know, fine. Being the same projectile speed with micro talents, like from Prism. Yeah, it just gives you a whole new avenue to scale your character. And I think that's fine, but it's doing stuff that you already want to do anyways. True Flame is different because True Flame is like hit damage now gets affliction, and it's like 60% base anyways. So by itself, True Flame is just really fucking broken, right? And it kind of just shows you like how bad this type of stuff is, because it's like, okay, you have to get Ignite somehow. That's kind of annoying, right? And you have to somehow get Affliction on there as well. But Affliction baseline is going to give you 100% more damage over time damage. So like at max Affliction, this is 65% more, but that can be kind of hard to build too. But still, 65% more damage from one main talent when your other options are no damage, like 40% damage here if you don't have any penetration, or +1 ignite. I'm totally not biased because both my builds this season use Gale and True Flame. Yeah, if Patrons is using them, must be really broken. What are these things called? So your definition of fine is OP. What if next season they had a character that could go and use Last Stand and like not lose the block ratio? Like if they had a character where it's like your block ratio is always 50%. And then you could go use Last Stand. That's how RPGs work. You identify the things that are very strong, or at least very strong per FE cost, and slam them into a build. Yeah. And generally what the devs go and do is they tap down the hammer on the things that are like, so like if you have like a board full of nails and you have like normal main talent, a normal main talent, Gale, guess which one gets hammered? This one over here because it's minion damage. Yeah, because like if Gale is too overpowered, then every build needs to run Gale. That's part of why Chromatic Shot was OP, is because it's a projectile, and people were like, you could slam Gale into it, you could slam AoE stuff into it. Fades. So they should cap the tag zone on any given skill. I mean, I think it's okay. Like, I think the fact that Gale is so strong in projectile builds aren't necessarily like every single build, and there's still melee builds that work. does indicate that it's not that bad. It just kind of indicates to me that projectile skills as a whole probably need a buff of like baselineness, because like I think on most of my sages, right? Actually, I don't know. Do we use Gale? I can't remember. Yeah, projectile speed just naturally. Yeah, so like most of my sages, once we get this, we basically just doubled our damage, right? I have 156 projectile speed. So 93% more damage. This is like me not investing into it. Like this is the only investment I have, right? And then if I took marksman out, I'm gonna do like close range fire. It's still not that bad. But or something. Gale is strong. I think if you took any Gale build and you replace Gale with another core talent and swapped all projectile speed, boost memory to crit damage or something. Yeah, so that's the thing though, because when you like the wider you can get your build to be in terms of multipliers, the better it's gonna be. Like a lot of builds already have like 400 to 500 to 600 critical strength damage, and so like just have like even if it only gives you 100% more damage, that's really really good. And this one's like 35%. Like if you look at the other options on this tree, it's like this is not damage, this is not damage. So the only other option here is 35% additional damage to enemies that are 4 meters away from you. So point blank 35% or 60% more damage without having to scale at all, right? Because if I just put points into here, I have 28 points in this tree. I have 945, 53. So 53 is still basically equivalent here, and I can keep scaling it. Yeah, this is also kind of troubling that it does need that. I got you. Don't worry about it. In the game, they can use 2 swords. This is my favorite Tokyo Ghoul. Wait, what? What? You mean this one? Gale's extremely good early because you can just roll projectile speed on gears tier 2. It was difficult to get additional damage early. Yeah, it just gives you the ability to turn a boring stat into a multiplier. And that's what makes it strong. It becomes weaker once you have ultimate mods, but yeah. Thing with Gale is there's no thinking while choosing it on the marksman. Most other trees you at least do agility, blessing, gain. Do get translucent and penetrating. Marksman tree is always insta click Gale. But also like it's like on chromatic shot, it's not even like like you're choosing Gale over everything else. That's kind of a good point. Special supports. Should I show the breakpoints for this? I forget if I actually do this in my video. Now, because isn't it like 4? I forget what the breakpoints over these are. Level 1, level 2, 3, 4, 5. Like game design, I like to get confused by a million choices. If there's something that's better to me, it's the mechanic. It's man design. Yeah, I just think that there's always going to be a little bit of biggest number wins when it comes to these kind of things. Like PoE try to be like, okay, we don't want you guys just picking supports because it gives you the most damage in PoB. And how did that turn out? They're like, fine. In PoE 2, they're not even going to give you damage. And people are like, bruh. Oh my god, I put way too many songs on here. I put a whole playlist on. I didn't just queue a song. I queued all of Sword Art Online discography. Sure, to come up with supports that weren't about damage and just failed. They pivoted. So how does it work again? It's 0, 2, 3. Wait, did they start with 1 star? I don't know, man. There's been so many times when PoE has announced something, and I'm just like, this is so fucking moronic. And people were like, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now, dude? So isn't it like 4, 8? Is it 12 here? No, it's 14. Isn't this the progression? Bro, a tier 0 by itself is so expensive. It's interesting that you can't even search by star levels. $74,000 for a tier 0 5-star. Just do level. Yeah. Okay, I was right. I meant booba. Where's the booba? What is stuff that people are doing? Anybody here paying respects to Destiny 2? I thought it was already dead. So what are some other things people do that are like crazy at Pinnacle? Not being very helpful. Mutated core talents no longer replace is pretty good. In PoE2 Ascendancy is very lame. They have a bit of identity but lack power, desire. Do the double bonuses on prism crystals reset every season? Typically it happens every season. However, they have been announcing that it's happening, which is, I don't know, indicative to me that maybe it's not happening every season. Damn, I have a lot of the cosmetic stuff. I can't believe you can buy 7 tabs. That's crazy. Bam. Friendly reminder chat to log in for the Pack Spirit shop. They clear moving to straight up power on Ascendancies. You look at it recently. Yeah, the initial like PoE Ascendancies, PoE2 Ascendancies were pretty fucking boring, man. What was it? The Blood Mage Ascendancy that was like, oh, congratulations on your Ascendancy. Get a fucking debuff. It's just like, why? Why? Like this thing, right? Like originally it was like you'd go down, you have to take 2 points to get something that like makes it so that your skills have blood magic or something. I was just like, that doesn't seem very good. I'm too hard on power and gear. I mean, the gear is not very interesting they gave me there. All right, what else are we missing here? What's the thing called? Star Trail. By the every season, at least that's the way it has been. I mean, I think what my crown argument for the tree being bad is me and Paul's didn't talk at all at the very start of PoE 2, and we were both playing similar characters on similar, like, on the same class. And she's like, so I looked at your build today finally, and your tree is 98% the same as mine. Like 98% the same. Hello, B-Day Crawler. When we played mini builds yesterday, you saw 0 plus the minion level slates? Like legendary ones or what? Yeah, this SAO battle music's actually pretty good. Undetermined Fates. Oh. Reflected items. I mean, I see a bunch of them. Many. I see many. You gotta look for God of Machine ones. They're not gonna show up in like God of Might, God of Hunt, God of Knowledge, God of War, God of Deception. It's only God of Machines. You can get. Pro builds, no one was selling those. Yeah, possibly. And then Po.Ninja. PoE2. Builds. Passive sweep. Can you see passive skill tree? Top classes per league. Invoker. Passive tree heat map. Yeah, if you're trying to price check the bottom stuff, like you can't sell ones that have been branded. So every single monk is running Lead Me Through Grace and Sunder My Enemies. All of them are taking like this line here. Chalupa Monk. What kind of build is Lupo Monk playing? Blood Mage was most popular? Yeah, everybody, like, it seems like a lot of builds are just running the central line directly out. Okay, so Pathfinder, wait, what did it do? Oh, what just happened? Lich? Lich, once again, running the central line. I don't even know what this is. Disciple of the what? Central line. Oracle. Central line, basically. Doing some weird stuff over here, though, which can nice. Chronomancer. Central line. Abyssal Lich. So like all of the classes are basically just playing in their little part of the wheel, which is part of the thing that like PoE was kind of famous for. What is going on here? Like the entire thing is fucking broken. Right? Why is Pathfinder going out the top? Huh? Oh. Pathfinder just has the ability to choose the path it goes out of. No wonder it's so weird. There's memory revival stuff that you can use a specific mod of the memory from Lunaria. If I use one, it's 100% chance for that mod. It's 20%. 20% and the 80% is it binds it to you. Yeah, so the thing that always made PoE 1 very interesting for me is you could like play a bow barbarian. You could use stuff that like really didn't feel like it was made sense baseline and made it work. So you're doomed. What do you want to play, Khalil? All right, is there anything we're missing on this checklist? No, you want to play the most popular and overpowered build in the game right now? Yeah, about that. So around 5 tries to hit? No. You would think it's 5 tries. Forget how to get the math for this. if something has a 20% chance to happen, how many tries on average? There's probably just 5 tries on average, but if you want like 80% confidence, yeah, it's gonna be a lot more. So 8 tries probably. Anyway, people think 30% is 1 in 3, 50% is 1 in 2. I mean, on average it is. Just name random ones. It doesn't work that way at all. You can't do that. You have to use Apathy Blade. You can't get Apathy Blade randomly. Do you like the idea of allowing twin reflections on hero memories? Is that a thing? Wait, can you get a reflected hero memory? You cannot. Yeah, so you think about it this way, right? So at the very start, your very first try, 20% of the time you're going to succeed, yeah? And then the second, but 80% of the time you're going to fail. And then so on that 80%, well, 20% of the time you're going to fail, but this is like, you know, a percentage of that. So you're at like 64% chance, I think, to fail again. And a 16% chance to like add a success to the pile here, right? So this is like the win pile, and this is like the loser universe, right? I mean, I wasn't done with this. And then so over here, you're only adding 12.8 total probability. And so like, yeah. So after the first, second, and third try, you're at 50-50 chance to happen. People think that it's 100% chance. I mean, if there was pity, that's how the world would work. How we let them graduate. I mean, there's some confusing stuff, right? But the thing is that like there is a universe where you never succeed, right? An infinitesimally small universe, but there is a potential to go out there and to literally never succeed. There is a potentiality. It's super small, but I've hit 1%, right? Like people ask, yeah, flip a coin 3 times and it lands on heads all 3 times, and you flip again. What's the odds of heads? Basically, everybody say 50-50. Yep, 50-50. They were like, tails is due. Any build suggestion to go for? I mean, there's so many builds you could play. But like, if you need to play something to let you farm out that build, but you know, you can't just like start on the most expensive and overpowered build. Like, that's not a like starter build. Trying out the builds. Gotcha. By Tangle activation, but buying a tier 2 one feels terrible. Yeah. Okay. Twisted this. I just want the bottom border. I know SAO is really cringe, but still just like one of the first animes that I ever actually really enjoyed. So it'll always kind of be special for me. Yeah, like, I mean, you can always craft one and get lucky, but yeah. I guess I need one of these. Memory of progress. Well, it sounds like you're in time mark 8, so it sounds like you need to get tier 1 crafts, weapons, then the rest of the gear. Try getting a pedigree of god that has one good main talent. Maybe get a prism, like a purple prism can provide a lot of benefits. Haze can have big damage increases. Hero memories, make sure your hero memories are orange at least. Also maybe a hero memory revival. Many good damage increasing options are on that. You also want to get a slate that has one legendary affix and good brands. Maybe you should get some cheap corner divinities or fallen starlight with one affix can be pretty good. Maybe precise auras. These tend to be a little bit more expensive, but depending on your build, these could potentially be pretty cheap. You get some good legendaries here. Maybe some like long-term options here for whatever build you're playing. Some of these are, especially at this point of the season, going to be a lot cheaper than it was before. Getting a belt blend, stuff like that helps out from Sandlord. Even like 8% damage, armor damage mitigation penetration is really, really solid here, especially if you don't have any armor damage penetration at this point. It's like 11% multiplicative damage, and it is really, really cheap if you're playing a hit build. Special supports, depending on your build, you know, maybe these will be expensive or not, hard to tell. Some automation tools like activation mediums to help keep your support skills uptime, like elite or preparation, are typically pretty good here. Dream talking, get some dreams on your gear, like if you don't have dreams on your weapon or rings, kind of a good thing to add. Fates, things like main stat fates can be really good. A lot of fates right now, like almost all of the minor ones, are like 4 FE, so you can get some better pack spirit stuff than what you had before. Maybe if your build uses a module, you could get that now too, and then you can maybe do a low level Vorax piece. I mean, there are plenty of Rosa 2 builds that didn't use Apathy Blade. Yeah, 0.09. Right around here. But there you go. Make sure you have all of these things checked off. How do we like the format of this chat? Did Mercury Purge Manasaka roast to this lead for your Sea Defense 7 SS20 at max gear with the new trait? Felt strong, but not near last league power. Wait, why was it more powerful last season? It should be way more powerful this season. Rosa 2 got like one of the most lucky changes how Vorax changed. Mana Stack got nerfed pretty hard. How? How did Mana Stack get nerfed? What? Mana Stack didn't get nerfed at all. Mana Stack got his gloves put in the fucking tank. And like way harder to get. What do you mean, huh? I need you to explain to me what you mean. Mana Stack have a nerf? You still haven't told me how. How did Mana Stack get nerfed? Because I don't believe it did get nerfed. How is it nerfed? Checkbox. Oh, you know what this just became? This just became a content map for me. Compensatory life got nerfed, hence Mana Stack nerfed, but I didn't. So I agree. Compensatory life did get nerfed, and that's about it. That is basically it. Archmage got nerfed. So lost some of the mind over matter. It lost about 10% max mana and 30% damage. Okay, this is way bigger nerf than I thought it was. You know, the benefits of gloves like freeing up mana again. Yeah. So actually, the real nerfed is the fact that you had to Vorax these gloves instead of tyrants. That's the real nerf. You Vorax tyrants still. Well, whale. Whale. What can you tell? You might go to heaven. You might go to... I'm tempted to build the version checking into this that I did before. So I did this crazy thing in PoE 2. Is these in others now? I shouldn't be showing all of this. Bro, I have so many fucking things. Yeah, I don't know. So I had a basically had a spreadsheet for helping people make a good staff in PoE 2, right? But we kept like updating the technology, and it made me realize we have people coming into the chat and being like, "Oh my gosh, you don't have this." Da, 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 da. And I'll be like, "Actually, the most updated version does have that." And what I did is I built into the tool this like section that would be empty most of the time, but if on the second page, which was hidden, the current version value didn't equal the version value of my master sheet, and it would like cross sheet look at what my sheet said, then it would change the like empty field to be this huge block of text to say this sheet is no longer the most current version. Please go and get another copy from over here. And I'm like, could I do that again? Yeah, SS20 down filing. Congrats. The funny thing is I never really use that. What build did you do? Hakano Zakan. Lightning shot, deck stack, Rosa 2. So is that empathy blade or whatever it is? What's the thing called? The fucking Rosa thing we were just talking about? Apathy blade. Tried crossbows. I think I saw you on Steam playing and I was like, never again. Inverse image. You see how Monk is through the early campaign? Kitchen the game by Act 1 by Monk. True CBT. Alright, where's my How to Escape Time Arc 7 video? I'm gonna put this here. Like Monk's an example of my point earlier about the tree. Gets a bunch of nonsense early. What he really needs is damage. Mm-hmm. I still want all the artist nodes. Artist nodes? Really? Does he actually just not get anything? Let's see here. Skill speed is damage, kinda. Attack damage, attack damage. So skill speed, attack damage, attack and cast speed. And then it's like more skill speed. %5 additional. And then it's like a lot of his stuff is like increased damage you've dealt a crit in the last 8 seconds. And then going getting that, right? Rush Hollow Palm. Where's Palm? And then you just don't need a weapon. So you do that. I think that's really dumb. Yeah, I think it's dumb because it's like it's an attack build. Not to waste time in campaign trying to kill everything. That's not something we can put into this, unfortunately. So this does tell me something that I do need to do. And that is, I need to make a lot of videos. So what videos do we need to do? True early game video. Pre-campaign. Hero memories. There's a video talking about auras. Hero memories. Slates. Energy. Hollow Palm is better than 95% of the weapons you can find in the campaign. This works for EDC grenades, minion stuff, because those build stuff kind of keeps dying around you while you run to the exit. Not so much on attack builds. Monk and Titan gotta kill stuff. Yeah, we're talking about TLI, not PoE there. I kind of want to update my crafting video, but maybe just put that in for now. I need to do a video that's specifically about pedigrees. Prism update video. I'll do a hero memory revival thing maybe later. A slates video. Belt blend video. Looks my campaign runs can do the whole thing better. I don't know, man. I just find that their campaign super boring. The campaign is basically a how quickly can I get from A to B and not suffer. Do I have a dream talking video, chat? I could swear that I did. Nate's video. God, so many videos. Should I make a priceless video specifically? This is gonna be the Don Bible. Kinda. Slates, prisms, Vorax. Yeah, I don't really want to make a Vorax video. Charge 0.1. Yeah, members only. It's kind of hard to see. So if you see, this thing that drives me crazy with a lot of content creators is they'll make their sheet like light mode friendly, and then they don't look at it ever in dark mode, and it's horrible. They'll be like, oh man, yep, this is how the sheet looks in dark mode. Oh, but it's so readable here. They'll be like, here we go, here's my sheet, looks great. And then you go and put it on here, and it's like, oh, like all of the fucking guides in all of the guides in what you call it, like Hero Siege, were giving me actually burning my eyes with how bright they were. Doing this build purely based with the sheet like a new player would. True. Maybe instead we do like a light blue. What's the most calming color here, chat? Green. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. Gray. Gray's not color. That's soft on the eyes there. We do like a nice soft red. Here, there we go. A nice red. My eyes. Yeah, I'm just not really happy with any of these grays. Bright red and bright yellow. That's a good idea. Like, I think this is fine. This is like a little too white for me. Ah, there we go. That's fine. Hmm. I just asked Claude something that's probably impossible. Yeah, probably wouldn't work. I was like, could we check to see if I'm live? And then only show this if I'm actually live? If they're doing a narrow stacking build, then they should stack the stacking. Nah, who would be dumb enough to do that? Start doing a web page. No comment. Where's the wrapping? Why is this not overflowing into here? It'd be nice if you could link the videos together, crafting, for example. So here's the problem, Dirt Razor. I have no idea what order people actually need stuff in. Nah, it's because of this cell was just having something that actually was kind of working funkily. I always end up getting this like fucking screwdriver back in my hand. Let's just put it away. Okay, so this only gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 more videos I need to make. Something to do until next season. I mean, part of the problem is that like I'm actually really disliking how they've been launching seasons lately, because basically the way that we get paid as content creators is they want us to make YouTube content for a month, right? And so if we have like a month here and the month here, the problem is the season starts in the middle. So most of your content is going to be like in the second half of the month, and you have like basically you have 2 weeks to try to cap out. But then the second month is, there's not as much stuff to do because this is most of the content here. But these videos continue to like push into the next month, but you're not getting paid for it because it only counts inside this month, right? And then, so you need to make a video for the second month, and then video in the third month is like wide open. But then in the fourth month, you have the same issue again, right? And so I think most people, it's view amount now. How long people watch the video for. And so like for me personally, I can like do this section here, but then doing this one is like, that's not happening. And then the third month is kind of sad. A little sad. And now we're like, 1 week left of the month. We're like here now. So if I do a big long video now that people watch, but they watch it like in the third month or over here, I don't get paid for it, which kind of sucks. I would make a spreadsheet for these blending rituals, but they keep changing them. Yeah, Court, you do. And I don't know how easy this would be to drag and drop in. Maybe I can throw this at Claude. Just leave YouTube on looping. Please do. Here you go. Have the hidden playlist. Here's the May playlist. See, I've only done 4 videos in May, so I'm kind of slacking. Kind of slacking. One of them is Lee, so you're good, yeah. Yeah, so I think I can make this video now. But we can make it even better. I still kind of wanted to do like a longer form style video. ever worth it to build in pause in the videos? I mean, maybe? I don't know. I don't know why the font is getting fucked up when I edit it. You're like, I know that I can pause the video, motherfucker. Why is the font all fucked up here? This is really annoying. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. This actually cleans up this a little bit too. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, so all treasure troves, all 6 treasure troves. First hero memory, main stat memory. Second hero memory. Brothers. Memory of progress. Okay, so let's just go through and make sure we have everything good here. So campaign, we're just going to recommend people do all 6 treasure troves and then specifically mention hero memory stuff. And that's it. I'm not really going to mention legendaries, but I will just be like, by the way, legendaries are very, very good during these times. I'm getting pinged for some reason. So I think that's all fine. Time mark 1 and 4. I think a lot of people overcraft here. Actually, people overcraft in this section. So tier 3 emergency crafts. Avoid crafting here if you can. Cost the same as tier 2 affixes for worse outcomes. I'm not sure why, but this like seems like different color font. It was. Okay, so I think all that's fine. And then so time mark 7, when you get tier 2 crafts. blue memories at least, purple fry plus one to corresponding hero trait. So I think Time Mark 7 looks pretty good. Chat, is there anything I'm kind of missing here in Time Mark 7? No mention on energy. Except for the 6-link main skill and auras. I guess we could say it's not easy to reroll. Like that mentioned something prior to high energy base before crafting in some random 82. Picking where to put your points for a specific farm as you will need FE at some point. No. This is like a how to upgrade my gear, not like how to do everything. I have to limit how much I'm holding people's fucking hand here. I don't know why I didn't want to listen to that song. Yeah, maybe like how do you graduate out of these? That's actually a really good idea. Perfect mention. Mm-hmm. This also kind of future proofs it a little bit because they're gonna replace Traveler next season or maybe the season after that. Soon, TM. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm a little concerned that there's a lot of spots here where I don't have videos. Oh, quite useless between the end of campaign and tier 5. Neural maps, drop memories, etc. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could put that here. I mean, that's why like my starter void charts are always videos always mention like just going towards God of War. I can do like a beginner void chart video for that too. Anybody listening to me? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. There we go. Hmm. There we go. It's actually so awesome. I mean, kind of does some of the problems that I had before where I'm like, I have so many videos to help people out, but how do I direct people to the videos? Do you see me? Hmm. to copy, cut, and paste using the edit menus. Install this Google Chrome extension. Why? Just fucking paste, dude. So weird. Like, so weird. And if I just finish chomping down this pizza, then we get the song Pizza Homicide. Meat and cheese is all I need. So, just doing boss question mark? How is this not the correct color? Like I've done Control A, changed color multiple times now, and still stuff gets fucked up. I think this is fine. All right. Well, I feel like this is like pretty much ready to go for a video. All right. I want to do a video real quick where I talk about my setup for SS20. One. That's so strange. Why would you go here? Miraculous touch. spell conk control spell. Okay. Hello everyone, I was going to do a final follow-up video here for the stage build here for the season, Lunaria, and yeah, we've gone way past the damage cap here. We killed SS-21, and we've been farming some deep space, and overall the build feels pretty darn solid. There's definitely still some stuff that I can go and do an upgrade, but I kind of want to talk about some of the changes I made to really like help me push over the top for SS-21, simply because it's a little bit of a harder fight. It has a higher damage cap, like a 30 trillion damage cap, and now obviously picking up the like orb mechanic stuff inside the fight does give you more damage, but you need to get like a bunch of them, which slows you down, and he hits really stinking hard. So the very first thing I kind of changed up here is the fact that my scent bottle is actually giving me injury buffer. We're getting a ton of injury buffer from this. Pretty much we're at injury buffer cap, which I believe is 80%, which is extremely nice for survivability. The way we did this is I actually slammed damage taken from Mana Before Life onto our chest. Previously, this was like Gear Energy Shield. So I was very happy that it went right into the right spot on the first try. And then I believe I got this up to tier 0 as well. And on my hero memory, I actually have damage just taken from Mana Before Life as well. So you kind of need that in a lot of different spots. It's kind of annoying. It's also on one of my slates, which originally I thought this was going to be kind of a bad thing to have it here, but it turned out to be very, very nice for us. And just being able to switch that over also means that like there's no concerns of like if your potions aren't up for whatever reason, that you aren't having your full, you know, mind over matter damage taken from Mana Before Life effect. And so this is just up all of the time, which is very nice for the build. I also went into my fates here. I just like made sure that all of my like max manas were at 8%. Did still have a little bit of resistance here, but we switched out to Hell Cavalry from the Elixir Pack Spirit. I don't really think the Elixir Pack Spirit is really all that good. And realistically, Iron Lion might not even be all that good either. We're getting a ton of projectiles from our Projectile Flask. So getting, you know, 2 more is probably not that huge of a multiplier of damage. So I probably could have used like Dreamweaver's Purple Pack Spirit if I needed more damage or just more defenses in general here. The Hell Cavalry is really quite strong. It gives a whole bunch of additional damage or negative additional damage taken, and then a whole bunch of extra additional negative damage taken, and even some resistances, which, you know, maybe if I had taken this point off here, we could have like taken off the lightning res as well, but you know, kind of is what it is. Realistically, probably could have like gone and done like even more defensive pet in here just to like help ourselves be tanky. We also went and got 2 Undetermined Fates to give a medium slot, and then we put Wraith in here. There's obviously some more expensive options, but this is basically just 25% more damage. Pretty much how this works is 25% of all of the damage we have already, which, you know, because we're not stacking erosion, turns into erosion damage, and that gets added to the chromatic shot, and the chromatic shot just converts that into whatever element we're hitting for, which is pretty nice. Note that if you have like flat erosion for whatever reason someplace, that's going to be kind of bad for you. But since we are going and, you know, using a max mana, intelligence, and spell skill level prefixes here, there really shouldn't be anywhere where you're getting like any sort of flat damage besides your shield here. So you should be good to go on that. The kind of more expensive option for this would be, instead of doing at that particular fate, you could go and use, I believe it's this one here, Resentful Maiden. This gives you +1 to max tangle quantity and 10% tangle duration. And the reason this is more damage is because instead of being 25%, this gives you 1 more dormant entangle. So that'd be another 40%. So 40% multiplier versus 25. The big difference here is that this one is about like 1800 FE right now, whereas I think I got my Wraith here. for like 400. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're probably just like not really worrying about the price too much. But yeah, those were even more expensive previously. I just went with this for now. If I was going to continue to make upgrades, obviously I would improve stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much that was like the big difference there. I believe also I had to go down here onto my boot and also get damage taken from mana before life as well, as opposed to physical converted to fire. But for the most part, that was like really the only major big gear change there. I could still go here to Phantom and probably get the mana and mana both corroded up. I don't think like having a higher level spell amplification really matters all that much. Also, I could probably get like the mana corroded here along with the corrosion on gloves, which would be kind of good. I could spend the like 15,000 it is to go and get myself this corroded up. I don't really think that's going to happen. There's also probably better base affixes than Hasten. This is just kind of what I could buy that had Archmages already put on there. Realistically, you could also potentially go and do Tyrant's Iron Fist and put that on the item now, because you know these are coming down in prices. So you could Vorax a Tyrant's Iron Fist. You really only care about this particular mod here, but obviously you probably want to go and grab mana as well. And you could actually wear Archmages, which probably would be better in like super duper duper endgame. But you know, it's not something I decided to do there myself. Obviously you could go and corrode all your gear. I think for the most part, my Omni Elixir Notes is pretty darn good. Realistically, because we didn't actually need the mind over matter effect on the our scent bottle part, we could have potentially lost a little bit of elixir effect here as well. For supports, I did make a little bit of changes here. We switched to spell concentration and control spell. One of the things I was noticing a lot is that if I had quick decision out, that my actual like mana over there would dip down quite a bit. And this gets kind of scary because if I take any damage or I like manually cast for whatever reason, sometimes the mana gets like stuck and like doesn't pop over as quickly as it should. And anytime that your like mana is actually below 100 or 95%, your like auras are flipping off up here and kind of going crazy. And that is a really, really bad spot to be. You're actually losing a lot of damage from this. And so it's definitely possible to actually attack too quickly on this one. It's one of the things that was kind of different than the Rosa setup. Rosa pretty much like had like you just want to stack a cast speed, attack speed to the moon when you get up to 30 attacks per second. With this particular build, I found that below 15 attacks per second or cast spells cast per second was kind of the sweet spot here. And I kind of like even like took out some of the speed stuff out of the tree, and it seemed to only just make it better. The big problem is that we don't actually generate any mana from casting, we just spend it. And the only way we're actually generating mana is from our elixir itself. So like I went out and bought a level 21 mana tonic, but you know, this has its limits. So if we were casting like 30 times a second, our mana would just like bottom out super duper fast because we just wouldn't be able to proc it fast enough. And for deep space, I'm like using Precise Harmony, by the way. It gives you all the immunities and stuff. You don't really need to do this either. I believe I was doing like, I don't even remember what I had for 21. Maybe I did have that in. You don't necessarily need that per se. And for like normal mapping now, I'm just using Swiftness Do. I don't really need the Scorpion to do all the damage. But you know, obviously the damage does go up when you use that. But yeah, so you kind of need to keep your eye on like casting too quickly. Like I think like 12 spell casts per second is kind of a good spot to be, just overall tuning everything around. So I did take out some of the cast speed. I think I got some points in like some of the resistances and stuff, or just move things around a little bit to make them a little smoother. I also did go out and buy a Juggernaut. I tested a whole bunch of different like cheap prisms, and this one was the one that kind of gave me the best overall results. This one is a 3x3. It has max mana on mediums, and then on top of that, it also has mutated core talent is no longer replaced, but we lose 5 resistance. So we still get a little bit of the mana that our previous Phantasm gave us, but Juggernaut is a good chunk of damage. What it does is just reduces a ton of armor and elemental and erosion resist. I thought that this wouldn't really matter all that much, but it actually is pretty noticeable damage increase. And I'm a little bit confused exactly how this works, because that should stack up to like 100% armor reduction, which should clash pretty heavily with us already having armor penetration. But yeah, apparently it doesn't. So it seems to be pretty fine. I'm thinking that maybe because it says reduces 10% armor, that it's actually taking away 100% of the armor that exists. Because if you look specifically at this says armor damage mitigation penetration, as opposed to reducing actual armor. So it's probably just making their armor 0. So they're losing like 30% DR. And against like bosses that like maybe have extra armor, it'd be very nice for that. And yeah, that's pretty much like the big changes. The build itself is still pretty zoomy. We're not necessarily like the fastest build in the land, but having a pretty good time with it. But one of the nice things too about kind of decoupling the, you know, not having spectral stamen being part of our defensive layer is that like if you decided that you like wanted to go and do like reflection or something and then put in another elixir, you could potentially go and do that. You also don't necessarily rely too much on having this particular memory here. You could go and do something else. I don't really think that like the other reflection stuff is really good. I tried out both of them. So the I tried out, oh, I don't have that one there. This one, the Omni Elixir side effect. So pretty much has the things that you didn't select. I tried this out. It was worse in every way possible. It was a little bit tankier, but ended up being like way less damage. So I didn't go with this particular one. It also doesn't really make sense because we're not planning on using all of the like the other scent bottle either. And then the one that boosts your basic scent bottle just wasn't as good either, because especially we just like pretty easy to hit max in injury buffer, especially if you're using poison relief, which I think is a really good belt enchant here. So yeah, I don't think I'd really make too many more changes to the whole setup of the build. But overall, this build was really, really fun. I'm really glad we got to do Mana Sacker again in a new way. There's really a lot of different ways to build Sage. We could go and like re-roll 2 to 3 more times and try different stuff. Maybe that's something we'll look into. But just working on some video guides and stuff for you for the rest of the game. And maybe some like checklists and stuff to make the early game a little bit better. So to keep an eye out for all that stuff. And thank you much guys for coming by. Come by the stream and say hi. Armor can be lowered in the negatives to have them take additional damage in comparison to Ellie resistance. Yeah, Ellie pin can go negative too. What's better, Mana Stack or BB? What's BB? Yeah, Juggernaut's is worded differently. Like, this is not mitigation penetration. Minus 5k, but Tangle activation, so you bought a trash one? I don't think buying a trash one's really good. You lost damage? Big surprise. Feels good though. Well, that's good. Hmm, 97% attach range. Eh. All right, let's see if we can make a better thumbnail here. This weekend, if you get a ton of hours to play it. Yeah. I mean, 16,000. Mm-mm-mm. I'm already looking forward to next season so hard. Test out so much this season. Fully prepared to Giga Blast. What are some things that you're definitely changing? Like, what are some things you would do different even? I'm not starting 2 weeks late. All right, let's see what it did. I'm not really digging this. All right, he's bound. getting sidetracked by other builds. And then say focus on the mandatories progress to profound ASAP. The game is the start of profound. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize. I keep telling people over and over and over again that profound's where the game really begins, and yeah. Like, you want to make money, yeah, you pretty much have to be in profound. You want to find stuff that feels good, you gotta be in profound. You want to have a strategy, you want to farm a specific type of strategy, you gotta be in profound. During 2 weeks, I learned a lot about late start season economy, how fucking easy it is to progress. Okay, like what's some of the stuff you learned about the economy? Oh my gosh, actually kind of cooked now. Yeah, for just running boss rush Lunaria, losing 1 trillion top end is worth the automation. That's good. You doesn't rebuild the Bushu a lot like Dawnbreak. Boss rush makes you so much money you can literally craft nothing to get the tier 8. Mm-hmm. It is why I'm like always kind of so confused when people are like, I'm stuck in Time Arc 7. I'm just like, you must have just not been playing very long. I don't want to be rude, but yeah. It was only self found FE. But economy, right? I really do wish they would give us more art in the game. You don't need the 3% life on kill in your belt anymore? Jesus. I'm gonna put on instead of poison relief. Are you mana sacker? I don't know, man. Can you guys hear that? I'm about to go say hi. I'll be right back. Okay. I feel like I'm so red compared to the rest of this image. Bork, bork, bork. They're barking at the fact that it's raining outside, it seems. Finally, clearing profound with the Sage Mana build. Is mana stacking the best Sage build? All right, is this going to the right playlist? It sure is. Wow, you've been streaming for 5 hours already. Public. Who's gonna be the first to comment on it, chat? Is it gonna be you? Who's gonna let the video play in the background? Okay, it is Thursday, which means there's still some more time for people to get through the hardcore race. Let's go see how the hardcore rankings are looking. So here in NA, Sage is completely filled up. Rayhan 1, the top 10s are gone. Rayhan 2, the top 10s are gone. Rayhan, our Carino 1's gone. Carino 2, obviously gone. Carino 3, obviously gone. Erica's all gone. Lightning Shadow's all gone. Vendetta's Sting is still available. Wow, this guy did it with 6,000 shield. Wait, what? Immediately starts charging energy shield on attack critical strike. Interval 2 seconds. Fizz to cold. Cold pen. This guy is so geared out. Okay, so Erica 3 still has open spots. Bing 1, no open spots. Bing 2, no open spots. Gemma 3, 2, 1, not open. Hey, Jewhibs, this guy is the guy who kept getting kicked out of my Discord. Thea 1 and 2 both taken. Thea 3. Yuga 1. There's a lot of crown guys. Both Yugas. Even Moto's taken. Waldo crown. Hello? This dim guy put characters everywhere. Kind of annoying. Yeah, he did chromatic shot though. He just took his gear from that. Charge calling. Gooba. Aye, Gooba. Wait, is a fucking machine lord. This guy's so geared. Rosa 1. Oh, only 12 Rosa 2s. So the only class that has a top 10 available is Erica 3. And it has 2 slots. Kind of wild. Man, my character feels so slow. Sooner or later, it's over. And I felt like there's some competition this time around. I know, right? How many responses we have? 98 responses. I'm sure there's some people in here that are not the right name though. Hey, this crown one rip. That might be you. Fake value crown. So Asia did not really watch my video. 46, 41, and only 11 in Asia. Character seems pretty spread out. Lots of Theas though. We got 9 first places, 6 or 12 sixth places. And then 83% are on my Discord. Pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. Oh, Thea was really good last season. She was my go-to. She was my girl. You know, I made her better. I would have done Thea, but I had to work Friday, so I was not afraid. So I was afraid of not hitting top 10. Gotcha. What did you do? Carino Dose. Yeah, I feel like I'll do like a true early game video, including like some leveling tips. Hmm. All right, I need to get up real quick. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Link to the checklist. We don't have a link to the checklist yet, but we're working on it. I want to make sure it's good before we publish it. And if there's anything else you want to add to it. Hmm. I think it's mostly good now. I can't really think of anything that I would want to add. Which kind of means we need to do a video about it, but there's still stuff I kind of want to add in terms of for the video. So it's like if we have kind of like the intro, the middle part of the video, at least, maybe even the end of it. So I kind of need to work on this part. I don't know, man. I feel like my creative juices for this part is kind of cooked at the moment. I feel like my creative juices are cooked. Hello, what are we doing? I was working on a video, but kind of cooked on the energy for it. Okay. I think I'm gonna switch over and play a little bit of DRG Rogue Core for a little bit. Anybody else hop in on this? Like, I need to cut the YouTube stream and then start a new YouTube stream. I'm just gonna end the YouTube stream.